talking about language. What does it mean? What's offensive? Should I be in trouble for calling someone something? Do you know what I mean when I call someone something? Do you have any idea what's in my head?
A lot of people think it's all political, but actually a big part of it's about culture. Trying to change culture on the West Coast.
And I see this going on, this Orwellian, well, we believe this, and that thing actually runs counterproductive to whatever said group is.
And so
I think it's like I was saying, like the morality thing, like you believe this, you believe me, or there's something, like why are you full of hate?
In the school districts too, and I mean, like I've run into it in college where people go, I have these opinions on climate change, I have all these things. And that's where nobody's actually reading or listening to the exact source. We listen to someone's opinion or someone's idea interpreted for us and then act as if that's what is actually happening.
Guns have always been there. So we have to remember this discussion is not about banning guns. We shouldn't be talking about banning guns. We need to talk about improving our culture and talk about improving the reporting that we have for folks who shouldn't have access to them.
Nixon and Kennedy was banging everybody. Oh my God, the moral system and all this shit. How is this new?
So would it be hate speech for me to say that you're coming off like a crazy homeless person right now? Just
Yeah,
by
probably.
what you're saying.
This is Wyoming.
And if you go to Hillary Clinton and you're like, you got those questions in advance and you cheated and you did this and that, and then she's all like, yeah, you know, she's like,
it's the elitist attitude.
and
I'm not going to be a Holocaust denier. Whatever the largest number of supposed people that died from World War II, I will agree with that number. That number is half of the amount of people that socialism has killed. So why I'm bringing this up is, if someone is Jewish, dark-skinned, of any nature, sure, they're going to run from the swastika. If someone has moved over here from Eastern Europe and their parents died because the food ration of cheese was not allotted to them at the right amount of time, they're not going to look at Antifa's red and black and not be triggered.
I don't think you have to support, there's many different forms of communism, especially in practice. I don't think that anybody that is a self-avowed communist believes that Stalin was the epitome of what communism should be, and I think that a majority of
Can you say the same thing about Hitler?
What?
Can you say the same thing about Hitler?
No, Hitler is what fascism is.
Can you say it wasn't the right kind of fascism? Like there's better fascism? Like if someone else was... That's all I'm saying.
Because fascism, by its nature, is already calling for the extermination of certain people and wants certain people to not have rights.
You say uncomfortable. You say uncomfortable and then suddenly people are supposed to be quiet. My problem with that is that there's two sides to this, in my opinion. There's 2 points I want to make. It's uncomfortable. When you're a little kid once, probably like 4 years old, you were given a candy bar, mom said no, and you threw a fit. Now if you're told no, you go, all right, because there's a maturity and a growth to that. So uncomfortable. Where on earth do you ever grow is beyond uncomfortable. On top of that, when you come to free speech, because I grew up with a comedian, I'm afraid of uncomfortable because how many times were comedians of any gender, of any race, on stage breaking down boundaries that are now starting to be put back up because we're separating people.
I believe wholeheartedly that they've made this culture and this system, this political system, to divide America. And it's been done on purpose. Republican, Democrat, or whatever.
Most movements are decent and they're co-opted. I'm assuming you know that.
But it's not okay for a lot of them are communists, and we have to understand what Stalin did. It's just as bad as what Hitler did. It's just as bad. It's a big problem. It's big government, and it's called killing people. That's a problem. And we have to speak out against it. I'm against communism. I'm against Nazis. I'm against all forms of tyranny. And I don't like it. And I follow Jesus, I believe in love, and I do not believe that we should disrespect someone else because of the color of their skin, their sexuality, their gender, whatever. Because Jesus didn't care. And so we gotta call this out. I've done it numerous times, and I will continue to do it. But you gotta do the same.
Hate speech is anything that makes a minority group feel unsafe.
I see a lot of stuff on that page about radical Christian extremists, and I go, let's play Mad Libs with the word Christian and Muslim here. How much of this shit would get pulled off of Facebook?
What I love about separation of church and state is people only want that when they're atheists or they are gay. No one ever thinks about the fact that maybe if you're Christian, right now in Kaiser they're going, the OHA they're going, we don't want Jesus as a reason for the season in that yard. Well, the point is that you don't want Christians in your schools. You don't want Christians all over the place. But now you want to start reversing that to the point that we have to have females in Boy Scouts now.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I don't think it's that they don't want Christians anywhere. They don't want...
No, they want them in their place.